Today we're checking out a mechanical keyboard that caught my eye, honestly mainly because of the Dragon Ball theme, and as many of us are, I was a huge Dragon Ball fan from when I was a kid, watching it in the morning before school, and even in recent times with Super. So here we have the Akko 3108 Dragon Ball Vegeta edition, and I also have the matching mouse which we'll have a peek at later. Big thanks to Banggood.com for providing this keyboard for review. I'll chuck links and coupons in the description if you want to check it out. The box, or sleeve rather, is pretty cool with the artwork, and it is an actual Toei licensed product, so it is legit. Inside the box we have the keyboard, a user guide, a blue USB Type-C cable, a wire keycap puller, and we have the 7 Dragon Balls in keycap form. There's a dust cover which is always appreciated, and finally the keyboard itself. In the hands it feels sturdy enough with minimal flex, nothing special, what you'd expect from a plastic enclosure and internal steel plate, and it is packing some decent weight at just under 1.2 kilograms. And well yeah, it really is all about that theme. This is also available in the Goku version, which my friend from Shopzada PH has already covered, so check that out if you want to see that one. The Vegeta version is essentially the inverted version, so we have super bright alphas, which I'd say is a very yellow-orange, and the black legends make them look even brighter with that high contrast. And the legends are quite big and centered, which may not be to everyone's liking, but from what I can see, the alignment looks pretty good, which has been an issue with these dice-up keycaps from Akko. But because they're so large, they're a bit thicker and inconsistent with the rest of the keycaps. And these are made from 1.2mm PBT plastic. And then we have Vegeta's signature blue, which he is usually wearing. The case and keycaps are different plastics, so the blue on the keycaps are darker and also rougher than the blue of the case. We have the grey as the accent colour, which just breaks it up a little bit. There is of course a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff around the board. We have the Capsule Corporation stuff, which of course Vegeta is involved with because of Bulma. We have the Z-Caps, and just a little story, in Australia being a Commonwealth nation we're supposed to say Z like Z, like the British. But legit, because of me belting out the theme song when I was a kid, I've always said Z, so yeah, I blame Dragon Ball for that. And we of course have the Vegeta Spacebar, which is the same as what's on the box. It is a little plain, especially when you compare it to the Goku version, and that's mainly because they have a heap of sky there, but it still does look nice and is dice subbed on all sides besides the underside, but I feel they could have done better. And lastly, we have a quite understated Dragon Ball Z logo on the front. It does have a standard ANSI layout, plus the 4 extra keys in the top right hand corner, so the keycaps are easily replaceable, but if you're getting this keyboard you wouldn't want to change them anyway. This is using the same macro system as the Akko 3068 that I checked out somewhat recently, and to be honest I didn't even try. I can't read the manual, so yeah, totally sorry for that. But there is some sort of onboard macro capabilities. On the bottom we have some flat rubber feet to keep it sturdy on the table. The flip up feet are also rubber tipped, and there is an additional angle available. There's the USB Type-C port, which has a specially shaped channel to fit the included cable in nice and tight, which made for a really secure connection, which I like. I did try it with other cables and it worked fine as well. There are also cable channels going out to the sides, but I never really like them because they mess up the cable. This does come with Cherry MX key switches, and I have Cherry MX Reds in mine, so a light linear switch, meaning that it has no tactile bump or click. Stabilizers are different with not too much rattle, but it's still there, and they did lube them up. The thing with looping stabs though, it doesn't need too much where the wire bends, which I see a lot of with these retail boards. It's more at the end of the wires that needs the lube. But anyway, the spacebar feels pretty empty and hollow and doesn't sound that great in my opinion, but again, no real bad rattle. And that kind of goes for the rest of the keyboard as well. It's a little hollow feeling, hard to describe and understand if you haven't felt a range of keyboards before. But yeah, I guess thin would be an appropriate word, but still good, and these actually felt decently smooth for Cherry MX Reds, so if you're into light linear switches, then I think you'll enjoy it. Quick look at the mouse. Box is awesome with Vegeta again. And I don't know too much about mice, but it feels pretty good in the hands. It's a very simple mouse shape, but I do love how it looks. Same color as the keyboard of course, and the glowing Capsule Corp logo looks sweet as. If you're gonna get this keyboard, then you might as well match it up with the mouse. To open up the keyboard, you just need to release the plastic tabs, which is easy. Then there's two Phillips head screws holding down the plate. And then it was a bit of a struggle to take it out because it was just so tight for some reason, but I eventually got it out. The top plastic shell is very standard, but it feels pretty good. And of course I won't be painting this one. The bottom plastic piece is pretty sturdy, despite not having a whole lot of reinforcement, but this big divot does help with that. And we also have the USB Type-C port nicely secured, so that won't be breaking off, which I've seen a few other boards do. The mounting plate is made from 1.5mm steel and is bent at the front and back, so this is what gives the keyboard most of its weight and rigidity. The PCB is clean, and just like the last Akko keyboard I checked out, this does have spots for LEDs. Unfortunately, I used up all of my LEDs when I soldered them to the 65% board, so I wasn't able to do it here, but I'm quite sure that you can solder in LEDs if you really wanted to, but I did wish it came with the LEDs already. Alright, so overall, it really is all about that theme. I love Dragon Balls, so this totally sucked me in. Again, there's the Goku version as well, which I personally think looks nicer because there's less of a contrasting look, but both are super bright, super gaudy, and pretty ugly if I'm being honest, especially if you have no cares about Dragon Ball, but that's the thing, it's fine because it's what it is. It comes in at about 100 USD, so nothing too crazy, but still up there. It does come with Cherry MX key switches, and the typing experience is okay. It is still mechanical of course, and the stabilizers are decent, and yeah, just very standard. It's pretty cool to see Akko bringing us this collaboration because I don't really recall anything like this with other brands, but yeah, this is definitely a board for the fans, and I'll be keeping this on display. Thanks again to Banggood.com for providing this keyboard for review, and for their continued support. Links and coupons are in the description.